Hello everyone, my name is Akash. In this particular video, we will be going to discuss about hyperparameter tuning in deep learning basically. So the topic we'll be going to understand hyperparameter tuning in deep learning. We're going to understand hyperparameter tuning. So what will be the agenda? So topic is hyperparameter tuning in deep learning. Okay, in that what we'll be going to discuss all about, we'll be going to understand that first. Okay, what will be the agenda of this particular thing is we'll try to understand introduction first, then will we get dive into the key hyperparameters in deep learning. Okay, we'll be going to discuss about applying hyperparameter tuning in real world scenario. Whatever you have learned, how you can apply into the real world scenario, that will be going to discuss that we'll be going to discuss. I will be going to illustrate you with the demo with the Python basically. If time persists, we'll be going to do that. So this particular thing is we'll be going to discuss that. This agenda is pretty much clear to everyone. Alright. So then we'll be going to discuss all about summary and conclusion. Whatever we understood. Okay. I hope this pretty much you got the idea all about. Okay. We just try to understand the concept first now. Concept we'll try to understand. Okay. So what's a concept is all about? Concept we need to understand what is hyperparameter tuning. Hyperparameter tuning. Okay, HPT. I'm just writing that. In the deep learning, okay, in deep learning, in DL is nothing but deep learning involves selecting the best parameters for a machine. Hyperparameter tuning in a D involves what it involves? It involves selecting the best hyperparameter. Best parameters for hyperparameter tuning in deep learning involves selecting the best parameters. Okay, best parameters in machine learning model. Okay, machine learning model. MLM is it is not multi-level marketing, it is machine learning model basically folks. Okay, selecting the best parameter involves selecting the best parameter in machine learning model. Okay, I hope this got you clarity. These parameters are not learned from the data, but we have to set the priorly. We have to set this priorly before in the training process, before the training process. So example includes like, so I will just, the second thing you need to understand that this parameters, this whichever the parameters I'm talking about, right, this will be not setted priorly. Parameters will be not set priorly, won't set priorly, won't set priorly. Okay, so that you will understand, will not set priorly. Okay, so priorly to training process. Okay, so whenever you do the training process, you have to set this parameters. So what are those particular parameters is all about? So example includes like learning rate. Okay, batch size. Okay, batch size, number of epochs. Okay, number of epochs and NOL, number of layers, and the units in each layer. Units in each layer. Okay, units in each layer. Okay, so units in each layer. Okay, so I will reiterate the things, folks. What is hyperparameter tuning? Anyone asks you, hyperparameter, what is a hyperparameter tuning in deep learning? Okay, so hyperparameter in deep learning involves select the best parameter in machine learning models. Involves selecting the best parameters in machine learning model. Parameters won't set priorly to the training. Okay, parameter won't set priorly to the training prior to the training process. So examples are learning rate, batch size, number of epochs, number of layers, units in each layer basically. So these are the examples for that. Okay, So next thing we'll try to understand key hyperparameters in deep learning. Key hyperparameters in deep learning. Okay, key hyperparameters in deep learning. So key hyperparameters in deep learning, we'll try to understand that. What is the key hyperparameter tuning? So okay. So first of all, we try to understand about the learning rate, right? One of the parameter is learning rate. Learning rate, right? Try to adjust, folks. Like my handwriting is bad. Okay, try to understand the what I am talking about. So learning rate parameter, what it will be going to talk about is it will control how much to change the model in response. It will control how much to change, controls how much to change the model in response to the estimated error each time the model weights are updated. Model weights like preference. What are the kind of a preference you are giving? Okay. Learning rate is like it will be going to control. Okay. What it will be going to control? It will be going to control how much to change the model. Okay. How much to change the model? How much to change to the model? How much change the model to the weighted like estimated error to the estimated error. Okay, estimated error each time. Okay, so the mod like each time the model weights are updated, so you will be going to set this particular learning rate. Learning rate is nothing but how much your model should to learn. Okay, that at which rate the your model should run, it will be going to control. Okay, so this is a particular thing you need to understand about the learning rate. And another one is the batch size, right? Batch size. What is a batch size basically, folks? Here in this particular video, we'll try to understand. Okay. So batch size is nothing but it's a number of samples. Okay. Number of samples before the model is updated. How many number of samples that you wanted to train before it is getting updated. Okay. I hope you got the clarity. How many number of samples that you wanted to get divided, like based upon your size, like how many number 10 samples of you wanted to give it to your particular model, or like how is it? So that is nothing but a batch size. Okay, number of epochs. Okay, another one is number of epochs. What is this epochs? It is a number of complete passes through the training data set. Number of passes through the training data set, that is nothing but number of epochs. So how many number of iteration that you wanted to do in order to process your particular data. Okay, and it passes through the training process. Okay, that is nothing but number of epochs. Okay, I hope you got the clarity. Then another one is like it is a epoch, another is epoch, this is a epoch one, and another one is like number of layers and units. Okay, number of layers and units. Okay, so this is a particular thing you need to understand. Number of layers and units. So what it will be going to do is it will be going to determine the complexity of the model. Okay, it will determine complexity of model. Complexity determine the complexity of model. Okay, so number of units depends upon the complexity of the model basically. So another one is a dropout. Okay, dropout rate like fraction of units drop for linear transformation of the units. I hope you understood. Like in the previous video we had discussed about dropout. Okay, so you can just check that particular video if you don't have understood the dropout. These are the hyperparameter things, folks. So now next we'll try to understand, okay, with the particular use case, so that how this hyperparameter is related, so that you will understand. Another one is you have to understand the use case, right? So without understanding the use case, you will not never understand how the things this will be going to work it. Okay. So use case. Okay. So scenarios like we have to improve the image classification accuracy. The problem is we have to improve image. We have to improve the image classification accuracy. So imagine you have an image. Okay. Imagine you have an image. Okay. This is an image. Try to understand. This is an image. Okay. You are working on image classification project. Okay, where you need to classify these images as dogs and cats. Okay, you wanted to classify the images cats and dogs. Okay, cats and dogs, you wanted to do that. Okay, you wanted to classify that. Okay, classifies the dogs and cats. Okay, you need to improve the, like, this initial model is not performing well, you need to improve the its accuracy basically. Okay, so for that, what you will do basically, okay, you have to apply the hyperparameter tuning in this scenario. Okay, so if you wanted to improve the accuracy, you need to use the hyperparameter tuning itself, right? There is nothing way of for doing that. Okay, so steps to do this, basically what are the steps that you will be going to do is you will choose the hyperparameter, right? You will choose hyperparameters to tune, okay, such as like learning rate, batch size, right? Batch size you will be going to check it, and number of epochs you will be going to see basically, right? So these are the hyperparameters you will be going to look at it, like whenever you wanted to improve your accuracy for classifying particular project, right? It is not, model is not performing well, you will choose the learning rate, batch size, number of epochs, sort of lot of stuff you will be going to do it. Okay, so second thing what you will be going to do is you will be defining the range of values. Okay, you will specify the range of possible values for each hyperparameter. Okay, then third thing, select the range. Okay, this is the range of values you will be going to range of possible values. Then third, you will be going to search for best combination. Best combination you will be going to search. Search the best combination. Okay, search the best combination. Okay, so you will be going to search the best combination. Like techniques like grid search, random search, or more advanced methods like Bayesian optimization to find optimal set. Okay, so we'll get started with the pretty much implementation part, and I will explain you. We'll be going to use a CPAR10 dataset, a popular dataset for image classification. So in that particular project, I will be going to demonstrate like hyperparameter tuning, how we can use using the Keras and by hyperband tuner from the Keras tuner library. So you will be able to understand how this thing will be going to work. So now we'll try to explain you like what is a problem statement we will be going to do it, so that you will understand, you have a particular out scope of that, what will be the outcome of this particular project, so you will able to understand more relevant to that. Okay, so I am telling you again and again, folks, don't leave this particular video that this is a very long video or sort of stuff. So let me know in comment section below, like how do you feel this particular videos basically. Okay, all right, I hope you will comment in the description so that I will get a clarity what you feel about it. Okay, so that, like, let's say like this problem statement is to improve the accuracy, right? as I told earlier, why we do the hyperparameter tuning is like to improve the accuracy, right? So that is only the thing we will be going to do it. So improving the accuracy of which one? Convolution neural network. Okay, CNN, convolution neural network on CFAR10 dataset. Okay, I hope you got the clarity which kind of a dataset will be going to use it, and a lot of stuffs you have understood. Okay, so now we'll straightforward, we'll move towards the Jupyter notebook and try to explain you like what are the things is there. I will be not explaining you line by line, but I will be showing you what are the things is key things is there and there itself. Okay, that's all. Thank you, folks. In the we will meet in the next part, that demonstration part. Yes, folks. So in this particular demonstration, I will just show you like Keras tuner you have to use, okay, for hyperparameter tuning. So make sure that you install this particular library. It will be not inbuilt available, so you have to install this. Then you have to import the library Keras tuner as KT, tensor, and CIFAR10 for using inbuilt datasets, and sequential model we are applying, and these are the layers from the TensorFlow's Keras.layers which we will be going to add it. Basically this particular library you can take it. Then in order to load the CFR10 dataset, you will be going to tell that extend by trend, next test by test, like that basically, folks. Then you will be going to load this particular data. Then after that you will be normalizing this data so that it will be going to have one particular certain kind of an images itself. So then we'll be going to get the images, downloading this data. Then we are just building the model, and we are just telling that this is a sequential model and what are the units it will be, how much, what will be the pooling, how much pooling layers, what kind of a pooling layers that you wanted to add, what is the flatten layers, but how many we are adding the dense layer with this particular thing, folks. And activation function we are using relu, and we are adding a dropout layer, and we are just using the softmax activation function basically. Okay, so like we are just using to compile this particular model, so it is a categorical cross entropy, we are specifying the learning rate, right? So we are choosing this particular to build the model, so we are just returning this from this function, we are just returning this particular model basically. So we are just passing the hp parameter, hyperparameter basically. So we are just using the tuner here, okay, to have a fine tune. Objective is we have to objective is to increase the val accuracy, and max approach is 10, factor is 3, directory is my underscore dir which we have chosen, and project name will be intro to KT. So stop early, we are just calling the callbacks. Early stopping criteria we are just choosing here. All right, then we are just telling that what are the searching that you wanted to do it basically. Okay, so it should be stop early. Okay, approach is chosen as a 50. Then best hyperparameter I should get, and number of trials should be 1. Okay, so I'm just printing this number of hyperparameter dropout like this basically. Then we got the search trial 1. This is a value, best value so far, this is a thing, and hyperparameters particular tuner particular value we are getting. All right, so I hope you got the clarity here. So we'll just go here, so you will be able to find it out. Just a minute, folks, you will get the things. I don't know what is happening. Okay, see here my underscore dir which we created. Inside that, if you just go here, you will get the intro to KT. Here this particular trials, it will be going to have it basically here, like weights you will be getting here. Okay, I hope you got the clarity here, understanding like what's a observer the things is there. Okay, so this is a particular thing, folks, nothing apart from that. All right, so we'll just go back here. So what are the things we got here now? it will going to proceed, folks. So this was it from my side. Like, you can let me know in the comment down below. It will be going to take it is training all sort of stuffs. Then we are just using the training this model with optimal hyperparameter, with the best optimal hyperparameter value that will be going to get it, and validation split we are doing as a 0.2. That's it. That was it from my side. So let me know in the comment section below, folks, this kind of a thing that you are liking or not. So let me know in the comment down below, folks. So I will be making the such kind of videos with the data science